Give me some tips as a business owner who still runs Google Ads. What should I focus on right now to be recommended by AI? And actually, my business is recommended by AI, which is cool because
Yeah.
we were doing a lot of content. But maybe
Mhm.
for some segments of my business that are not recommended, what should I double down on for AI to consider me?
Yeah, interestingly, the AI thinks a lot like a person would in terms
Hmm.
of the kinds of questions it issues. And so if you're a business and you're mentioned, in top business list or from a public article that lots of people end up finding, those kinds of things become useful for the AI to
Yeah.
to find,
So
reliable
invest in your
businesses.
PR. That's
So
something I've been hearing a lot.
so it's not really different from what you would do in that
Yeah.
regard. I think ultimately, how else are you going to decide what business to go to? Well, you'd want to understand that.
But also, like, sometimes I invest in PR and I ask my friends, have you seen that article? And they're like, no. But then I ask AI and it really sees the article and it uses that information. So now you're investing in PR not for people to see it, but for AI
That's
engine to
actually a
see
good
it.
way of thinking about it because the way I mentioned before how our AI models work, they're issuing these Google searches as a tool. And so, in the same way that you would optimize your website and think about how do I make helpful, clear information for people? So, people search for a certain topic, my website's really helpful for that. Think of an AI doing that search now,
Yeah.
and then knowing for that query, here are the best websites given that question. That's now will come into the context window of the model. And so when it renders a response and provides all of these links for you to go deeper, that website's more likely to show up.
Yeah.
And so it's a lot of that standard best practices around building great content really do apply in the AI age for sure.
What about reviews? Because some people buy reviews. I
Yeah.
wonder like how it's going to affect the
It's
system.
hard. I mean, the reviews, I think, again, it's kind of like a person where, like, imagine something is scanning for information and trying to find things that are helpful. So it's possible that if you have reviews that are helpful, it could come up, but I think it's tricky to pinpoint any one thing like that. I think ultimately it's about these general best practices where what you want is reliable. Kind of like if you were to Google something, what pages were to show up at the top of that query is still a good way of thinking about
So
it.
basically the same as SEO, right?
I think there's a
Or
lot of overlap. I
yeah.
think maybe one added nuance is that the kinds of questions that people ask AI are increasingly complicated and they tend to be
Mm.
in
It's
different
not like a
spaces.
pair of keywords, right?
Right. And
Yeah.
so if you think about what people use AI for, a lot of it is like how to for complicated things or for purchase decisions or for advice about life things. So people who are creating content in those areas, like if I were them, I would be a student of understanding the use cases of AI and what are growing in those use cases. I think there's been some studies that have done around how people use these products in AI. Those are really interesting to understand.
As a small business owner, how can I understand what people are looking for, why I can potentially get recommended? Is it still Google Trends or?
Google Trends is a really useful thing. I actually think people really underutilize that. Like we have real-time information around exactly what's trending. You can see keyword values. I think also, the ads has really fantastic estimation too. Like as you're
Yeah.
booking ads, you can see kind of traffic estimates for various things. So there's Google has a lot of tools across ads, across the search console and search trends to get information about what people are searching for. And I think that's going to increasingly be more interesting as a lot more of people's time and attention goes towards not just the way people use search too, but in these areas that are growing quickly.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
particularly these long, specific questions people ask, and multimodal, where they're asking with images or they're using voice to have live conversation.
Are you going to provide some of that information to advertisers to see?
I think down the road we want to provide a glimpse into what people are searching for broadly.
Yeah. Just like
Advert
to
Not just
understand, right?
advertisers too.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it could
yeah.
be for anyone.
Hmm.
But ultimately, I think more and more people are searching in these new ways, and so the systems need to better reflect those over time.
Absolutely. Enjoying this clip? My name is Marina Magilko. I am an immigrant in Silicon Valley, but I'm also a creator who is based in Silicon Valley and is genuinely excited about everything that's going on. On my main channel, you'll find full interviews and deep dives, entrepreneurship, careers, AI, immigration, investing, all the stuff that helps you grow. Subscribe to that channel, link is in the description, so you don't just get highlights, you get the full story.